Hey everyone, in this video we're going to be doing the 2.1 notes, and 2.1 is about distance and midpoint. And we've already talked about these words a little bit, but now we're going to learn some formulas of how we can calculate these things in a coordinate plane like a graph like this one. Alright, so first let's go over the midpoint formula. Now, to think about the midpoint formula, you should think of taking 2 points. So let's say point A, we'll call it x1, y1. And point B will be x2 and y2. Now, you've probably seen the notation like this before with x1 and x2 and stuff. But keep in mind that when this says x2, that doesn't mean x to the second power, x squared. No, this is a subscript. It's written below the letter, slightly below the letter. It's just saying x number 2 versus x number 1. It doesn't actually mean anything mathematically. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So when we have 2 points and we're given the coordinates, the quickest way to find the midpoint is to just find the middle of the two x values and find the middle of the two y values. All right, so pretend for a minute that x1 is, let's say, 3. And that x2 is, let's say, 5. All right, what's the middle of 3 and 5? Well, it's 4. And how you can calculate that, if it wasn't, two numbers that were so close together and so easy, all right, how you can calculate it is it's like taking the average. And if you remember, when you take the average of numbers, you add them and then divide by however many numbers you added. So in this case, we're always just going to divide by 2. So 5 plus 3, and divide that by 2. So 8 over 2 is 4. 4 is in the middle of 5 and 3. Okay, so that was just an example to help you get the idea. So in general, this is what we're going to do for the midpoint formula. You're going to take the average of the x values, which means you add the two x values and divide them by 2, and that's going to give you the x value of the midpoint. So the m, I'm just using m for the midpoint. So this is the x value of the midpoint. Then you do the same thing with the y's. You're going to add the two y values, y1 plus y2, divide them by 2, and that'll give you the y value of the midpoint. All right, let's do a quick example. So R is 1, negative 3, and S is 4, 2. So you can label your x1, y1, x2, y2 if you want. And then just plug them in. Add the x's, 1 plus 4 divided by 2. So that is 5 over 2, which is 2.5. And then we do it with the y's. Negative 3 plus 2 divided by 2. So that's negative 1 over 2, which is negative 0.5. Now, when you write your answer, make sure you write it as a point, because midpoint is a point. So write it, the coordinates, as a point. X comes first, 2.5, and then comma, and then the y comes second, negative 0.5. All right, let's do one more real quick. The endpoints of CD are negative 8, negative 1, and 2, 4. Find the coordinates of the midpoint. So we're going to add the x's, negative 8 plus 2 divided by 2. That's negative 6 divided by 2, or negative 3. Then we add the y's, negative 1 plus 4 divided by 2. That's 3 over 2, or 1.5. So the midpoint is negative 3, comma 1.5.